Change and risk, citizenship for the 21st century, and investing in skills are some of the themes that have come under the spotlight at the third live event technical and production conference currently underway at the Sunnyside Park Hotel in Parktown. This year's conference is hosting 12 speakers and a panel of local and international experts. Well, to tell us more about the three-day gathering, we're joined by Sharif Baker, who is the spokesperson of the third live event, and as well as Andy Lenthal, who is the General Manager of the Production Services Association in the UK. Welcome, gentlemen, to Morning Lab.
Good morning.
Sharif, I'll start with you. Take us through, the background of this event, how it all began and where it is now.
It was initiated by the South African Roadies Association, a group that was formed 23 years ago as a company to support the live event industry. And it has grown slowly. 3 years ago, the director, Freddie Nyatela, decided that we needed to take it a bit further and engage with the youth and the public at large to understand our industry. And thus the conference was born. But in order to move forward, we needed to learn a lot more. And thus we started inviting guests such as Andy to come and share their experiences in their countries so that we can adapt, mold, and make an African system that worked for us here. 3 years later, the wheel is turning, slowly, but the wheel is turning with the help, with the assistance of our brethren from across the waters.
And Sharif, what is that African system that is working for us, that is going right in terms of live productions?
Everything. Exactly as Femi said earlier on, we are one in Africa, and we're learning from our East African compadres as well as West African, and we're taking the system and making it work for us, especially on a safety level, but also supply level, to make sure our technical riders, which I'm not sure everybody knows about, when we have an international artist that comes over, they send a list saying, I want this microphone, I want this speaker, and we've learnt from that to say this is how we need to be treated as well. Because let's face it, here in South Africa, we have talent personified, and we as the event industry need to make sure our artists are seen and heard on an international level.
All right, Andy, now you're here because we've got talent personified. Tell us about your role during this three-day event.
Well, we have talent in the UK, and we have to develop that talent much the same as you do in Africa. So all I do, I come and share. I share and learn like everybody else. So this year I delivered a presentation on how we've developed an apprenticeship for live event technicians, because technology is wonderful. A guitar is a beautiful thing, but it's not a musical instrument until you add a musician. The technology for a live event is amazing, but it's nothing until you add a technician to operate it. And so to grow the technician pool, we need to train the next generation of technicians. So you empower people with skills, and you empower the industry with technicians.
And how important is it for young people to understand not only just the technicalities, but the business side as well of this industry?
Well, it's vitally important, because in the UK especially, a lot of the technicians are actually individual business people. They're self-employed freelance technicians. So they need to know how to operate a business, but they also have to have an understanding of how the business operates. Like Sharif was saying, tours enter a country and there's a rider, and they have to have the technology they've been using in the rest of the world, because that's what they're used to. So to have that understanding of how the business operates makes them a better technician, makes them a better operator within that business unit.
Now, I know today is the last day of the conference, but quickly take me through what you've personally learned and taken away from this year's conference.
Well, I've learned, because I was here for the first conference, unfortunately I couldn't make it last year, I've learned that there's been progress, and that's really important. I've also learned that South Africa is just that gateway to getting the whole of Africa together. I've learned that the growth and the development of companies across Africa has been rapid, and I can hear them coming, and I can feel them probably overtaking. So, there's growth in the live entertainment industry, but there's hope that the technicians to serve that industry are being developed from a pool of immense talent.
All right, gentlemen, Andy and Sharif, unfortunately, I will have to leave it there for this morning. We're talking about, the 3-day conference that has been ongoing here in Johannesburg. And I'm pretty sure you can go check it out. And it is happening in Parktown. And you can just go through and see what is happening and how South Africa is growing within that space. It's the Sunnyside Hotel in Parktown. All right, it's time for us to continue with more here on Morning Live. But before we do, we take a quick break. Stay with us.